All right, welcome back to First and Mad right here at Mad Maddie's, Las Vegas, Nevada. Brad Michaels here with you, but Jay Vegas and Floody is back.
Mr. MVP.
Mr.
There
MVP
you
right
go,
here.
in the house. Yeah.
No, Mike.
No, because he ain't turning on. Hey, come on. That's a bright
It's
shirt.
all right.
you
First
got going
show.
on there, Mr.
First show
Michaels.
fumbles. First show
I
fumbles.
thought it was on, and then it was off. So then
We didn't have a preseason.
So we didn't have
We don't care.
So Orange Julius down there.
All right, so now that I got a mic on, welcome back to First and Mad right here at Maddie's in Las Vegas. Brad Michaels here with you again this year. Floody down here on the end, and as always, Jay Vegas right here in the middle. So, hey guys, interesting year.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
So
I
far,
I think it's going to be in a very open. I think it's anybody's ball game this year.
I agree with you on that.
What do you think of the Chiefs with the potential three-peat? They going to do it or not? We're going to do our predictions at the end of the show.
Right.
But do you think the Chiefs have a shot?
I think they got as good a shot as anybody.
Absolutely.
It's hard to bet against Mahomes nowadays.
He's just, I watched part of his first half already. The season kicked off tonight, and I was watching, and I like, okay, Baltimore controlled the ball, went all the way down. They got down, they scored. Kansas City gets the ball, bing, 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 ricochet rabbit. They were in the end zone already. And, that's why I see the game, this one here, stopping. Baltimore wants to keep the ball away and out of Mahomes' hands, but obviously 13-7, he hasn't done a very good job of it. So they look tough.
Well, I wanted to go in, and we got it on the ticker. Actually, I don't think it's on the ticker. It might be the state of the NFL. Floody, you and I talked about it. You and I were just talking about it a little bit, and I alluded to I wanted to talk about this because last year at the end of the season, I was talking about that playoff game against the Chiefs that the Dolphins had was over on Peacock Network.
Yeah.
This Friday, there's a game, I believe, that's on
Peacock Network. Yep.
Peacock. I agree with you.
My feeling, and I said this last year, you remember, I said the NFL, they're getting ready to go to pay-per-view. They have to monetize the fan base that does not go and attend at the stadiums because the advertiser revenue, it's not cutting what they need to cover these escalating salaries. I mean, you just had, as a matter of fact, they haven't updated it. I do know that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, they reached an agreement this afternoon.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Supposedly. I heard that. According to Pro Football Talk, they are working to complete the contract extension, but I heard that it was official on NFL Sirius XM. So just the details of the actual contract had not come out. But you're looking at these guys, they're making $200 million guaranteed. They're making, it's like Dan Marino. It's interesting. You talk to a guy like Dan Marino, it's like, these guys make more in 1 year than I made in my entire career.
Yep. The salaries have gotten so ballooned.
The salaries are ballooning they're going through the roof. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now the NFL, so I told you, the NFL is going to pay-per-view. That's why you got Peacock, and I guarantee you, these are just test runs. Because if people start signing up for Peacock, Peacock's going to have whatever games that they have, they're going to be $35 a ticket. Don't you agree?
I mean, it seems like it's going that way with everything now. I mean, what the Amazon still doing the Thursday nights games, right? Or they
is that the one they're doing with the Banning cast?
So I think so. No, that's ESPN.
Oh, that's ESPN.
That's ESPN too.
And that's no longer on DirecTV.
Right. They're having problems with Disney.
So that appropriation going on.
Yeah, and so you have all of these different problems, and then the past couple of weeks we found out now they're going to do this private equity.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think it's a huge joke, and they're screwing around. Probably the guy that I thought was running this whole campaign for trying things, probably the guy that had Bud Light on top of the world, and that was sinking the ship. You're gonna get a lot of people that are going to not want to pay for something that they've had free for the last 50 plus years. Come on. I mean, we'll go back to Heidi in the Jets and Oakland game. I was around, sorry. But
I remember that game.
I think you're really making the NFL regular fan pissed off.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to get the big revenues that they think they're going to get. But if you get so many people that do buy it, then maybe it's not helping that cap because they're paying. Everybody's getting paid. The NFL is always about the almighty dollar.
Yeah, almighty
we talk
dollar.
about it every year. We talk about it all the time. This has got to be some kind of scheme for the NFL to put money in their pockets and pay those players
Yeah.
and the teams and everything else.
And the coaches.
And the coaches, and then the fan gets jacked in the price. The fan gets jacked at the pay-per-view to watch his Patriots go 2 wins this year.
And both of them against Miami, probably.
Both against Miami.
Oh man.
Say much for you.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that whole piece, especially a regular season game. I know they test run it during the playoffs last year, and I don't think anybody liked it, and I don't think anybody's gonna like it this year. It's
they're
scared
not.
off a lot of fans. I know it has. I'm talking to a lot of people, and they do not like the whole fact that I don't want to get Peacock.
No,
I don't watch enough of their shows for me to
it's
just
ended up being okay for me because I like to watch a lot of golf.
Okay.
So most of the golf is on NBC, which is great because I get a chance to watch. I mean, if it hadn't have been for having Peacock, I would not have been able to watch the Tour Championship. So
I'm not gonna say that nobody's gonna buy it. I just think
there'll be people
that
that buy it.
probably gonna go a little sour in there. When's the last time the NFL did touch something that didn't make money?
Yeah.
Or that they were so embarrassed about and everything else that
But the problem is that how high does it go before you finally hit that ceiling? Or guess what? There's no more money. There's no more corporate money. There's no more advertising revenue. There's no more. And what are you going to do? You're going to up the. So right now they've said the private equity 10%. Next it's going to be 20%.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be 40%, and then you're going to have private equity players owning these teams or owning the majority of these teams, and for them it's all profit. So you're going to have teams like Miami that'll pick up and move to LA because
I gotta say,
better market.
I hope I'm not around when all this shit hits the fan.
Next thing you know, they'll start cutting the roster sizes down because you get the
Oh,
bean
yeah.
counters
Well,
and
and then they'll cut.
there's only
then
11
they'll cut
players on the
active
field at a
roster.
time. Why do we need
Another
53?
player.
Eight, and then it'll be flat football.
Put on the foil, coach.
All right, let's move along. I think this is something we can talk about throughout the year. If it starts to become something, they're moving a game over to Peacock and making people pay for it. All right, let's go on to 15 things to watch for this year. Number one, the return of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
Is he going to be good? Everybody, New York is all like, well, we're going to the Super Bowl. I don't think so.
They got a good defense.
They have a
got a
great
great
defense.
Will he play more than 5 downs? I don't know. He's no Tom Brady.
Is he over under the first quarter? Is that what it is?
I don't see it. I'm hearing rumbling from some general managers, don't want to say, too much. But there is chaos in New York because Rodgers has too much power.
Well, that's why I get rid of him. I think in Green Bay.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right.
Hungry kind of guy.
Well, you saw it last year when he came over and he brought over every guy he likes and literally was like, sign all my guys.
Right. And what did they do? Nothing.
And they did. They signed 2 of the guys that he wanted, and then he goes out in the first series. So
I think just like when you've seen the cartoon characters, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood is no longer. Retire, son. Retire. I know you want to be a Tom Brady. Nobody's a Tom Brady. He was a freak to play the 45.
he was.
Yeah.
He could still be playing if he wanted to.
Those injuries are no
No
joke.
joke. Yeah.
I've seen one really, really outstanding player come back from it. I think that was Kobe Bryant. And he was a little younger and plays a different type of sport and everything else. But, he's going to break outside the pocket here because he's a running quarterback.
Yes.
He likes to move out of the pocket, throw on the run, and probably does it better than anybody else throwing on the run, especially against his body and shit. When he's rolling left and throws back, which they tell you don't do, he's probably the best at doing it. This other kid here tonight we're watching Mahomes ain't too bad either. But come on, man, Mr. Rogers, it's time to retire, bro.
It is. It is.
Time to retire.
I think they'll have a decent team. I think they're going to focus the ball around running the football.
And D's going to keep
I
him
don't
in
think
it.
it's
Is
all
the
gonna
offense going to be good enough, though?
I think the running back situation, I think they upgraded the offensive line. I know they picked up four guys, and I think they're hoping for some of their young guys to really come up. I like the offensive line buildup because that was a big struggle last year. I think that could be a huge impact. And if you're not using Rodgers to throw the ball 40 times a game and you rely on those running backs, I think they're going to be a solid team with that defense.
That could be. Do you think that they're going to win the division, or is it Buffalo's? Because I don't think.
Right, it's Buffalo's to lose.
Probably is
I-
Buffalo's to lose. They are the defending
Lose.
champs.
That's a tough one because I think Buffalo has a lot of key pieces they lost on
They did-
defense.
they did
There's some
lose a
people
lot.
They
that
lost
say
a
they
lot.
think that there's going to be
Offense,
3
too.
teams out of the AFC East that go to the playoffs. I don't see that.
I think it's between the Jets and the Dolphins in that division. That's just
Really?
my opinion.
Oh, wow.
I think I've actually done a couple of playoffs.
A little bit
A little bit of hope in the beginning of the season. Hey, you gotta reel it in. You got to reel that fish in. You got to reel that
my
fish in.
shovel because the shit's getting pretty hot. Jesus.
One thing I do know about that division, though, is the Patriots will finish last.
Yes.
With 2 wins, both against the Dolphins.
And then the Dolphins, if they lose both games to the Patriots, you think they're wow. Folks on the way in.
Hey, I got a text this afternoon from Joe Rose, former tight end for the Dolphins, played with Marino, and he said, and he's the color guy, right? Jimmy Cephalo does the play-by-play on the radio. Joe does the color commentary, and he said, Dolphins their last 6 games are brutal.
Yeah.
Buddy, you and I were talking about their last 3
Yes, sir.
at Cleveland.
Mhm.
Then they're at home, but it's against the 49ers. And then the last game we go up to New York and we played the Jets.
I will say for the division, it's Buffalo's to lose. It will be the Jets that will be playing them for the division. And as for the rest of you, Dolphin fans, Patriot fans, and Bills fans, we all hate the Jets.
Yeah. With what is JETS? Suck, suck, suck.
Boom.
All right, moving on. Yep, it's a dynasty now. Everybody knows what we're talking about. Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City.
We talked about, is there a possibility of a 3-peat? If anybody's going to do it, I think it would be this Chiefs team. I found out today, well, I've actually heard rumblings about the last couple of days, but Travis Kelce, he said it tonight. He said not a single one of us has talked about doing a 3-peat since we won the Super Bowl last January or February.
Travis lied because he just did. So we got one. he had Swifty on
Well,
there.
he said it tonight. He was asked a question. He said, "Has this been anything that's come up? Has this been anything that you guys have talked about?" And he said, "We don't talk about it as a team. We talk about this is a new season. This is a new tonight."
Is
Travis Swift.
Now, is Taylor going to
Travis
be at
Swift.
the games? Because if Taylor's
I
at the
don't know.
games, you already know the NFL is going to want them in there
Oh,
because that money is just
Yeah,
too
because
big.
they get the TD popper 14 and 15-year-old girls. All right.
I'm hoping we got something in the AFC maybe to knock them off.
What do you think? We're going to move on to number 3. Number 3, because we could talk about the Chiefs and till the end of the season. We're going to be talking about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because I think this year with the way we've decided to put this thing together is after we have week 1 in the books, we can come out next week on the show and talk about what we think are the key matchups.
Absolutely.
Including even if it's a Thursday night game, which is ongoing while we're doing the show, we can talk about that matchup as much as
We got
possible.
that new chant. No 3-peat. No 3-peat. It's you, Chief.
Not a Chief fan in there. Huh?
Harbaugh's second act, and I'm talking about Jim.
Yep.
Is he going to do it in San Diego? See, I still want to call him
I
San
do
Diego.
the same. I do the
San
same thing.
Diego
Is
Superchargers.
he still going to do it with the Chargers? Is he going to be able to make that team turn around, get them to the playoffs, get them into a championship game like he did with the 49ers? Or is he barking up the wrong
I think
tree?
it's a good chance he can because of the division they're playing in. I mean, they have the Raiders.
With the Chiefs?
But the Chiefs play twice, but the other 2 teams are pretty terrible.
The other 2
You're
teams are
talking the
pretty-
Raiders and you're talking the Broncos.
So he
Yes.
can get to the playoffs. I don't think he gets to the playoffs this year.
I think he gets them close. I mean,
He
they
gets
still
close.
they got a revamp. They had an aging team.
I think he's going to turn around and challenge for the division against the Chiefs.
I think I wouldn't say this year.
This year?
I wouldn't say
This
this year.
year. I think so. He's got a solid quarterback. I think the kid wants to learn. I think Harbaugh coming back to the NFL. He loves to pound the pill.
Yep.
They got a good offensive line. They got some good running backs. I think they're going to challenge the Chiefs. They're going to be a lot better team than what we thought in the past. They were. We thought in the house. You got it. I'm telling you, they're going to challenge the Chiefs for the division.
I like what they made moves for in the offseason. I think the 2 running backs they have is going to weigh huge on if they can stay healthy. I like the draft they had. I know they picked up the offensive lineman and they went and got Lad McConkey, who I think is going to be great this year.
If I'm not mistaken, is there a guy on that defense named Cleo Mack?
Yeah, Khalil Mack
Man,
is still
watch
there.
out.
We
You're
got
gonna
both on
have
the
a
other side.
return year this year. Watch out.
On that-
Mark my words, Cleo Mack's going to be a menace in people's backfields this year. And that's That's what's going to help with turnovers and sacks and
Well, that's
stopping
where it
third downs. And Cleo's going to be a menace this year because I think he's fully healthy.
If you can get
Watch
Khalil
that
Mack
guy.
and Joey Bosa going and they can stay healthy, I think
Yes.
those guys can be formidable. Absolutely.
Well, I think I've always said, and you hear it said every year, defense wins championships.
Absolutely.
I mean, if the other team can't score, well, they can't win, can they?
Boom.
So, I think Harbaugh is going to be successful in I almost said it again, San Diego. I think he's going to be successful with the Chargers. I think they might push for a playoff spot this year, but I don't think they're going anywhere near challenging the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 12-win team.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say they're 12 15.
No worse than 12-5. They might even go 13-4. But I
Got the over.
think,
They get rid of 11 and a half.
I got them at
Okay.
11 now.
but
That's
I think the Chargers will challenge for a playoff spot. I think they're going to come up just short. But I think next season is when they'll gel because they'll have that season under Harbaugh. They'll know what to expect a lot more. Supposedly, every guy in the locker room loves playing for him. So I've heard that about him. He's
Yeah,
a
locker room
player's coach.
Yeah,
He
he's a
just doesn't
player's
get
coach.
along with management. That's his problem. All right, moving on to Chicago and Caleb Williams.
Exciting stuff in the Windy City. I'm telling you that.
Oh, is that the route we're going, or are we turning around possibly doing, because we've done 3 divisions in the AFC, have we? No, 2. We did the West, we did the East. You guys want
Right.
to touch the North and South?
Oh no, this is the
yeah.
15 things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, let's
This is
roll.
we'll get to
Caleb
the
Williams.
divisions when we do our
Yeah.
predictions. Caleb Williams. This was because we're actually talking about Pro Football Review in 2024. This was 15 things they said to watch for. So we wanted to come out tonight and comment on these 15 things. So number 4 was Caleb Williams. I said it last year when they were talking about that the Bears were maneuvering and they were trying to figure out a way that this was their guy, that Justin Fields would be gone. And I said there was some GMs that said they didn't have what it takes to make it in the National Football League. That he was going to actually, one former GM said Caleb Williams is a bust waiting to happen.
Hey, listen, if he's going to be a bust, at least they've got the weapons and the kind of role players around him to make him successful. Is the team going to be on his shoulders the first year? I don't think so. I think they've got some solid pieces there. I've never seen a rookie quarterback have a wide receiving core like this. The running backs look great, and the defense is solid. And then you put yourself in that fact, you're in the NFC North.
Ouch, ouch.
Yeah, you're in the NFC North.
You're
We already know
Detroit,
Minnesota,
Green Bay,
Detroit.
Minnesota.
Can Detroit put 2 seasons together back to back?
I believe so.
I believe they can.
I believe Detroit's going to be. We'll talk about this later. I believe they're going to be back in the championship.
I'm curious
game
about
this year.
Green Bay. Green Bay is going to be my wild card kind of. What can they
Everybody's
do?
high on Green Bay. Green Bay is, to me, they're a wild card to me.
I don't like their defense. I don't like their defense.
I
That's
don't
my
like the
biggest
D
thing.
either, but they're young and they're hungry, and they were close last year.
But to the point of Caleb Williams, though, Buster, do you think he's actually going to? Do you think he's got what it takes?
From what I've seen in the preseason, that's all we've really got to judge him on. He looks poised. He looks like he can move around the pocket. He's got good pocket presence from what I've seen. He knows he can make throws on the move, which is huge especially for a rookie quarterback. And those weapons, I mean, he's got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. And sadly enough, it's probably DJ Moore's best quarterback he's probably played with.
Well, he's got all of the tools there.
Yeah.
But from what I'm understanding, some of these general managers said he didn't have the tools up here.
That's going to be the question mark. And we're not going to see. But once he gets that, because he's going to hit a rut. Rookies always hit that rut. And they're going to, how is he going to respond?
Oh, 1 minute there, buddy. A second. I say Busto. This guy can't read defenses. They got film on him his second year after winning the Heisman. And they showed there. And guess what? This game's faster and stronger and quicker and everything else than what he was his last year at SC. His junior year, nobody knew about him and Riley, the new
when they were in Oklahoma.
And they ran the table pretty good. He did win the Heisman that year. But last year and now this year, guess what? I think he's a Busto.
He's got all the arm talent.
I'm agreeing with a couple of those GMs.
Yeah, I believe he's going to be a bust because I
rookie.
think he's going to have trouble this year. Like you said, the game is it's fast when you're in high school. Then it goes double speed in college.
Yeah.
And then it goes quadruple speed by the time you get to the National Football League.
Yep.
It is so fast you don't even know what's happening. he's going to get quick feet. He's going to throw a lot of interceptions, and they're going to run him out of town on a rail.
Yep.
Good thing they got a lot of railroad tracks.
Yeah, if he struggles early. I mean, I
But you
think this
won't
could be-
hear that chant to
No.
bring in Fields because he's
No,
gone.
He's
He's
gone.
the goner.
He's gone.
Oh,
But they'll bring in that kid from last year. Did he make the team? I can't.
Badgett.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Jim
the backup.
McMahon.
Yeah, Jim McMahon will be
He's
coming
making a comeback, man. Why not?
I know, Terry.
All right, let's move on to number 5. Kirk Cousins is in Atlanta playing with the Dirty Birds.
That's a good signing by Atlanta. You've got the talent there right now as far as weapons wise. You just didn't have
Kyle
a QB.
Pitts is going to have a field
I think
day.
Kyle Pitts has a
with
huge
Kirk
year this
Cousins.
year. I think this is going to be this is going to be something special to watch, especially you bring in Raheem Morris,
Yeah.
defensive coach.
Defensive coach.
That defense is solid to begin with. It was just that Arthur Smith offensive scheme they had last year was just horrendous. I look for Kirk Cousins to do special things there in Atlanta.
I do too. Just stay healthy, Kurt.
Yeah, that's all he's got to do.
Stay healthy, son. You ain't no spring chicken
Yeah,
no
yeah.
more.
That's true. That's true. So that's going to be the biggest thing is, and I don't want to put an omen on somebody, but if Kirk Cousins goes out like Aaron Rodgers did last year in New York,
Who is Cousins' backup?
Michael Penix, the rookie.
Oh, stay healthy, son.
Penix, who knows? Penix might be the guy. We don't know.
I
You
think
got Bo
Atlanta-
Nix, and you got Bo Nix at Denver.
Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Two
with,
quarterbacks, stay healthy. Stay healthy.
if Penix,
He was a little
sit
injured
behind.
up there, Pet.
I think-
watch it.
I think they're trying to do what they did with Love in Green Bay and keep him and let him learn and watch.
Yep.
And I think
Well,
that's a
the
good
whole,
move. For him.
That's the whole idea. But Kirk Cousins has had the injury issues.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Hopefully, Cousins stays healthy. You're able to do
Gave
what
him
you
the
wanna
bag.
do.
I'll tell you that. They
with,
gave him the
uh,
bag.
with-
They did. They had some cash.
Are we going to have
Put it on
this year
Peacock.
coming up? Are we going to have the same amount? This has been brewing for years and years and years. Every single year, it seems that the officiating controversies get bigger
They
and
want
bigger.
I
to
think it's
be
gonna
on
be-
TV too.
I think it's going to be worse this year, especially with those new rule changes.
Oh, the new kick,
The new kickoff,
the hip drop
the hip
tackle.
drop
They already
tackle.
called that horse collar tackle tonight on on the first drive. I
I
believe.
want did you see the one that they were calling was with the offensive line not lining up? They threw 4 flags on that in the first half, guarantee you. It's a joke. They said, well, we're going to be watching that awful close this year. And this idiot there, what's his name? Chris, who's the announcer doing
Collinsworth?
that? Collinsworth. He's a
Collinsworth.
Come on. Everybody loves Collinsworth.
I
don't think anybody likes working with that guy.
want to be on TV just as much as the players.
I
That's why they throw him a
believe
flag.
that.
This
Wholeheartedly.
guy here is doing it, great shape and everything else. That's what he wants to come out. He wears a size medium shirt, so his arms look all big. And he turns around and he's from the Florida line and he's on there. And he's been
Speaking-
around for years. He looks like Jim Halbert and John Halbert's brother.
Speaking of shape, all right. So Floody and I, we were sitting around here a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We decided that we both wanted to lose a little weight. So
Yep.
we have a $50 bet between us from now till the end of the season. We're going to go through the Super Bowl.
You know, the thing is,
Our Super Bowl show will do the winner.
that really does suck because I have a birthday, there's Halloween candy, there's Thanksgiving, there's Christmas candy, there's New Year's, what
We
you know,
won. We-
and then I'm throwing the Super Bowl in
Coming up
on
with the
it.
excuses heavy and
Holy shnikes.
I got a sauna suit. I'll loan you.
Hey, Tommy want weenie. We'll go right to the Super Bowl. Why not, sir?
All right. So we'll announce the winner, and it's going to be by percentage of weight loss because we weigh totally different.
Mhm.
I will not announce our weights unless Floody wants to do it. I don't mind. If you don't mind, I
You
will
can
announce
put
it.
it on the live. I saw his was 249, correct?
Mine is 249. Yeah.
A whopping 308. Boom, there goes the scale. So all you doubters that were out there that didn't think I hit the 300 mark, I said I was coming back for Boston 325. The Raiders will call me up and play offensive line. Patriots,
you might be able to start for that team.
yeah,
Probably.
Two
They'll probably have me come out there.
308 was the official weight. 308.
So Floody's at 308. I'm at 249, and we're weighing each other. We're not weighing each other. We're both weighing ourselves every Thursday night prior to the show, and we'll make the updates every week with the percentage and tell everybody who's in the lead. For
Now that it's in, I'll probably go take a piss. I'll lose a pound. Shit.
Now he's gonna go have his snack, so that way after the weigh-in.
And that's because I'm 249 though, because I had some onion rings right before the
Yeah,
show.
so there you go. Oh, what a sandbag! It's that a boy. What a sandbag that percentage.
Shit, too.
Number 7 on the 15 things to watch. The 49ers. Can they get over the hump?
That's a tough one this year.
And they're not in for rump, so.
Well, here's the good thing about it. The NFC West is still theirs to win. I think they're the best
Buffalo
team.
in the AFC
Yeah.
East. I agree.
Okay. All right. Sounds like whatever. But I think the O-line is going to be the big question mark. I know they had the trouble on the right side there last year with the right tackle. And they haven't really upgraded that because of the salary cap issues.
Right.
Well, and then you had the problem with Williams, but he's back. And he's one of those guys, even Pat Kerwin himself, he said, this is a guy that doesn't need a full training camp.
No.
Right? There are guys that don't have to have a full training camp, but they were talking about, actually, it wasn't Pat Kerwin, it was somebody else, but they were talking about the Cincinnati receiver, and Jamar Chase, and his holdout. Jamar Chase, he's a big talent, but you're a receiver. You need to be in camp because you got to be able to be able to go out there and take those hits over the middle.
You know what? Is that a Rolex over there? Sometimes when you decide to go out, be a rookie and flash that stuff, man, that's got to be sitting in your locker room with the mind.
No.
It's a mindset.
That's a tough one.
Even though they're professionals, here's your guy getting mugged for
Rolex.
He's your number one pick.
Wasn't even
that? Not your number one pick.
And it wasn't that long ago where Brian Robinson had the same issue in DC there.
Yeah, I like the Niners. I think the Rams are going to come a little stronger at you. I also think Seattle is going to try to be a little bit out of the bill.
I think Seattle.
Gino feels real comfortable there. New coach, calling things. Or else maybe not a pick off the Butler in the end zone. Thanks, Pats fans. Anyways, Arizona's probably got to go. Only way to go is up.
Oh, their defense is terrible. I mean, offensively, I think Arizona's going to light up the scoreboard, but defensively, they're going to
give up.
Oh, they're going to give up.
So it's going to be a shootout at the OK Corral every time you play Arizona.
So Arizona's going to surprise some teams. They're going to be a spoiler, I think, all year. I've played out a couple of different playoff scenarios. In Arizona, I've had them. Ooh, okay, this is one of those games that Arizona's going to surprise somebody. Moving on here, this is going to be right up Bloodie's alley here. Number 8 on our list of 15. A fresh start in Foxborough.
Well, that'll be the same headline next year.
Yeah. the same one last year, folks. As far as what's going on up in New England, they got a lot of work to do, folks. We had our run for the first 20 years of this century and millennium and the whole 9 yards. We probably won't see a real good one till I'm dead and gone, folks. So,
I said the same, but I'm saying the same thing about that in Miami because we had it rolling there all those years with Shula, and it's not been the same since.
So I mean, it could be a while before the Pats get back on track. They've got a lot of rebuilding to do there, and I think they're smart not playing the rookie quarterback this year.
They're the only ones out of all the teams that picked a number one pick for quarterback are not starting him.
Well, Michael Penix. Michael Penix. That's our good. Him and Penix.
Yeah, but did he go in the first round?
Yeah, he was number 8. Penix was number 8 overall.
Yeah.
Well, then Penix gets the kick back too. I think it's a good move.
I think it's a good move. It's not a great team.
Jacoby Brissett.
He's a good bridge QB.
He's been around the league for a while. He started with New England. He made a jaunt to a couple of places, Indianapolis and more, and now he's back in New England. Let him take the snaps and hand the pill off. Stevens, I think, is about your only offensive guy that you guys can think of.
Jalen Polk looks good, the rookie receiver. He looks good coming out of camp.
Yeah, he doesn't look bad, but you guys also know you got to have a supply.
Yeah, the offensive line is the biggest problem.
Even if he is a wiry old vet in there, I'm glad they're not throwing Bailey to get pounded on.
I need to make a mental note for the Dolphins. Get an offensive line.
You got to have the O line. It starts all. You got to get the beef. Got to get the beef up front, and you'll be able to win more games than that.
So
Absolutely.
they're still keep that headline. We'll use it again next year.
Okay. We can wipe out number 9 because that obviously, from what I'm understanding, that was taken care of today. That was going to be, is this Dak's last ride in Dallas? So it sounds like they're getting a deal done if they haven't already gotten it done in Dallas. So he's going to be back. Number 10 is the new rules. We've already alluded to it a little bit. You got the rule against the hip drop tackle. This kickoff rule. Somebody explain this stupid kickoff.
I don't understand it.
I saw a little bit of it earlier tonight, and maybe I'm wrong. If the ball is kicked into the end zone and unreturnable, it goes on the 25. If the ball is kicked between the 20-yard line and the goal line and can be brought out, it has to be brought out.
It has to be
You
returned.
can't call a fair catch in there and everything else. I think the same thing still rolls for if you kick it out of bounds, it goes on the 35. So they're getting more returns. They both line guys start 5 yards apart from each other. So there's no 15-yard
speed.
chugging down to blow somebody's head off.
Yeah, there's none of that.
They're
speed.
actually getting more returns though out of it.
Yeah.
But I saw the difference in the yardage. It's like a 3-yard
Yeah, so it's
differential.
not a whole lot of
nothing.
difference.
I guess it's a lot safer
It's
though.
all for injury purposes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, any other rules that we should think about? I think it's just the hip drop
The
tackle
hip
and the
drop tackle.
kickoff is the biggest thing for me. The one thing I will say, I was listening to Josh Allen was being interviewed, and he said, I think you're going to see an awful lot of guys are going to be kicking out of bounds and just say, give it to them at the 40,
Oh wow.
which is
That could
okay.
that could be interesting. That could be interesting.
I mean, it just gets it over with.
Yeah.
Or a lot of touchbacks.
A lot.
These kickers can do that.
Josh is a good kicker in the league. Let him go to
Number
a
number 11. Number 11 is the Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Green Bay. Is he the real deal? I want to say yeah, but I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
I
going to
think,
follow on. We're on page 14.
that with Jordan Love is everybody's looking at those last 5 or 6 games he played last year, and he was lights out during that last part. So that's what everybody remembers. If you look back to the beginning part of that season, probably half of the season, he did tend to struggle a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, they finally found their rhythm. It's going to
He's-
be interesting to see, but that defense is going to put him in some tight spots. I think,
He's
this year.
not come out and played in any way near the shape or form that Aaron Rodgers did after he sat behind Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was ready to come
Yeah,
out
he was
and play.
ready to come out and play.
I'm not so sure
Aaron
that
Rodgers
Jordan
was
Love
fucking
was.
35 years old when he came out.
Oh, that's true. That's true. 'Cause
I think the
Brett
kid
Favre
has a
didn't
great year.
retire till he was 65. So,
I think the kid has a great year, especially like fantasy purposes, because that defense is going to give him a ton of points, I think. And I think they're going to have to chuck the ball. And I'm curious to see how the run game goes. They have Josh Jacobs there, but he's right now, I believe, the only healthy running back they really have on the roster. Dylan's out for the season.
Yep.
They got that rookie there, Lloyd, but he's hurt. He's on the PUP. He can't play for the first 4 weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, which Josh Jacobs are you getting?
Right off the bat, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yep.
Which Josh Jacobs are you getting to help out Jordan Love in the run game? That's going to be the biggest question.
number 12, you got a big moneymaker down there now in Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield.
The
Worth it
Baker.
or not?
I don't think so. Sorry. I'm going to keep it simple. No. It's Baker Mayfield.
I know it is, man, but you know,
He did. You know what?
He
He
showed
did
me
have
a-
a really good year last year.
Yeah, he had a good year with the Browns, too. Look what happened there.
He had one good year with the Browns, but he did have the shoulder problem the next year. They just
He's-
gave up on it.
He's got a nice rhythm going. He has good year, bad year, good year, bad.
So
Guess
he's due
what?
for a
It's
bad
due for
year.
a bad year.
So he's Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a dime for a rough year. It's,
All right. I
it's
guess
his MO.
number 13.
I kind of root for him now.
I'm rooting
And the
for it.
division's weak.
Oh, the division is.
It is
the
weak.
division.
It is
Yeah.
weak.
You know, it's Kirk Cousins you're talking about to win, but I mean, Carolina.
Well, I don't understand though why everybody's giving it to Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. I mean,
because of
okay,
all the
on
weapons
paper,
he's got.
well,
I just think it's because of the team. I mean, do you believe in the
and
Saints?
the
I think
defensive philosophy of the head
Yeah.
coach. I get it. I get
this,
it.
you got the Saints in that division, who I think have the worst head coach
They're
in the league.
going to be horrible.
You got Carolina there. You don't know what you're getting out of that Bryce Young kid.
Carolina's at least another 2-3 years. And they're,
And you got Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
You know, it'll be an 8-18, 8-19.
They could, I think I did that one. It
Yeah.
came out 9-8, won that division when I was doing some of the.
Yeah, that was with
Scenarios.
the 9-8. Yeah, the Bucks were
That
with
was,
9-8.
that was the Bucks.
And
last year,
speaking
right?
of some interesting divisions, I want to come back to this AFC North. This is Pat Kerwin definitely said this. He has the AFC North, every single team in that division winning 10 plus.
No way with
way.
Schittsburg now. No way with Schittsburg. They can't even decide on.
The poke the bear,
I
man.
knew we'd get him with
You
the
knew
Pittsburgh thing.
No, Baltimore, yeah, Cleveland. I'm going Cleveland give me a shout in the house. And Cincinnati, if Joe Burrow stays.
He stays
No
healthy.
way
The
with
Jamar
Schittsburg.
Chase is the problem with Cincinnati
Schittsburg.
because him holding out until this week, I guarantee you it's going to cause problems for Cincinnati.
Sure.
That
No,
holdout
I'm sure,
because
yeah.
of the selfishness. The kid is under contract for 2 more seasons, and he basically had a temper tantrum and just showed up in street clothes.
Yeah, but what's he do when he turns around and Joe Burrow is feeding it around to everybody else but him?
Yeah, then it was going to do go pout on the bench.
How do you bring in? Well, you're not catching the ball, so yeah, let's bring in the new rookie. Let's bring in somebody that's a little hungry, but we're still going to all of our playmakers.
All right, I want to speed this up a little bit. Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields in Pittsburgh. That's already been settled.
Go Schittsburg.
It's already been
Go
settled.
Schittsburg.
Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is the
Yeah,
guy.
go-
He got the
Do you know how
shortest
many
chain.
Pittsburgh fans were pissed off that Justin Fields didn't get the starting
He
nod?
got the shortest chain in the NFL.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, after what he did in Denver, that egg. Yeah.
If he don't produce in the first week or two, boom, boom, you're gonna pull him out in those fields.
Mm-hmm. I agree
They're not
there.
gonna fall far behind because that's how Schittsburg rolls and everything else. And they'll utilize their run game and their defense like they always do.
Mhm.
But if Russell Wilson can't get it done in the first 2 weeks, or here right here now, they don't this week or next week or split and go 1-1. They're 0-2. Week 3, guess who's coming in?
You
Oh.
think? Well,
They're gonna be Fields.
so
and
you think Tomlin's going to end up having a quarterback controversy on his hands? Possible.
he's already got it on it. but
Well,
like I said,
he does.
Yeah.
He's
He
got
does.
the short chain.
But only with the fans. I mean, the media
I
is not
think
really
it-
hammering
I
him
think
so
it-
much.
Well, no, because the 2 black quarterbacks that have both started in the NFL, and they're rooting on for both of them. So
It's very split in Pittsburgh. It's very split on, you
Yes.
get some Russ believers and you got a lot
Right.
of Justin Fields
But I
believers.
guarantee you, if Russell Wilson doesn't look good in the first 2 weeks, those fans that were on his side are going to be calling the Fields. And if they're 0-2, you're going to see Fields week 3. I have to look to see who
We'll
they
see.
play.
It's going to be interesting.
Number 14 was about new threads. I guess the Jets are going back to Gang Green as their home uniform, and the Detroit Lions have got some new retro uniform or look. And 15 was the best of the rest, which we've pretty much covered. We've talked
Yeah.
about CJ Stroud. We've talked about Aaron. We haven't talked about Aaron Donalds. We've talked about all of these other people. JJ McCarthy, that was the big one. I
poor
mean,
bad.
kid doesn't even make it to the
That poor
field,
kid,
and
that
it
poor
just
kid.
sucks. But we'll end up talking about a lot of these players. I want to skip ahead because we have about 20 minutes left in tonight's show. So let's go ahead. We'll go straight down the AFC, and then we'll go over to the NFC. We'll make our division predictions. We'll make we should do a championship for each conference.
Sure,
And then
sure.
we'll make our Super Bowl predictions. I'm pretty sure the 3 of us have already figured out who we think is going to
Yeah,
win. He's
yeah.
already
I
said
mean,
Buffalo
Yeah, he likes
over in the
Buffalo.
AFC East. I'm going to agree with it. And here in this magazine, Pro Football Review, they picked the Dolphins. I don't. I think the Bills, it's theirs to lose. I think the Dolphins have a really good shot. Even Joe told me today, he said, we got to start fast like we did last year because our last 6 just brutal. And that's what I saw playing out on these playoff scenarios as I was going through them. The Dolphins tanking, losing 3 games, and they're not even in the playoffs.
Well, Tua's always known to get off to hot starts during the season. He usually begins the season really, really, really strong.
Yeah.
I like
And
the
then they
Dolphins
fade.
this year in the division. I think the Buffalo Bills have just lost too many key pieces, especially offense and defensively. I'm curious to see what they're going to put in store, but I really like the Dolphins in this division.
All right.
I told you I think it's Buffalo's to lose, and I think it's between Buffalo and I hate the Jets. Your Dolphins will be lucky if they win double-digit games.
Yeah, I've picked the most that I see the Dolphins winning is 9 games, which is not going to make the playoffs. I'm not even sure that 10 wins makes the playoffs this year in either of the conferences. Let's move on to the AFC South. There's no team in that division, in my opinion. Jacksonville possibly. I just think that the Texans are just way better than. I think they're the cream of the crop in that.
I'm a little worried about the Texans bringing in Stephon Diggs because he's a very big prima donna.
He's a locker cancer.
He is a locker cancer. I mean, if you couldn't hang tight in Buffalo, I mean, they wanted to get rid of you. So obviously, there's something writing on the wall, especially with a young QB. How's he going to respond to a veteran that's been proven? And is he going to cave? Is he, how is this going to work out? But like you said, the rest of that division's very, very weak. I don't think the Colts are going to be that strong. I don't believe in the Richardson kid. Watching him throw the ball sometimes is painful to watch. And Jacksonville just, I don't know what's going on with Jacksonville.
They used to call the Cardinals the cardiac kids. Okay, that's what Jacksonville reminds me of. You never know what team's going to show up to play on any given Sunday. Yeah. By the way, it was a great movie. All right, moving on to. So, are we all in agreement? Texans?
I think the Texans are still going to be the top just because the rest of the division is just so weak.
You got who do we say? We got the Colts in there.
The Colts, the
I
Titans.
got the Colts in there. Just don't.
Oh, the Titans. That was the team.
That was the other team. I think the Titans are a dark horse in that division.
Titans are the bottom feeder in that one, like the Patriots are the other division. I'll roll with you with the Houston and Jacksonville, giving them a run, but Indianapolis might play spoil. I want to see if that kid, the running back, over there.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
If he can carry the load.
If he can carry the load a little bit, take a little pressure off of Richardson. They got some weapons over there.
Some.
They'll spoil some teams.
Oh yeah. I think I don't.
It's
Yeah,
tough to play in their house.
We officially taking Houston.
I'll take Houston.
All right. So all three of us are in agreement. And I'm going to write these down so everybody knows at the end of the season what we chose. AFC North. I would have said the Bengals if not for Jamar Chase's holdout. I think that hurts them. And I'm looking at Baltimore. The score is 20-10 right now, Kansas City. This is in Kansas City. Baltimore's a good team.
Yeah,
Baltimore, that's the team, hands down, I believe they are going to win. I believe Baltimore has, and it's not happening for them tonight, but I do believe they have Kansas City in their crosshairs. They're still upset from that AFC Championship game last year because they blew that game. They just did not play. They're not proving it tonight. But I think this is going to be another wake-up call for them. There's a nice completion, though.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Okay.
Like I said, I would have gone with
Ravens.
Cincinnati, but Jamar Chase, I
think I'm going to roll with Cincinnati. I'm just worried about the concerns with the Baltimore offensive line. Yeah, they want to run the ball, but if I remember correctly, they were the 27th ranked offensive line going into the season. And it's pretty bad there. So I'm curious to see how this team works. But I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one.
I'm going. I like this, Roman.
He's going with he's Pittsburgh.
So you're going the Steelers. You're going. I like it. Bold pick, my friend. Bold pick. Bold pick.
I'll take the Browns.
There you go.
Rise to the occasion. That was the team I was thinking was going to the Super Bowl last year. They laid an egg down in Houston.
Stephanie, he gets a raise now.
Buttering up the boss. I like it.
I like the Brownies D. I like that all those games are played outdoors and everything else.
I don't believe in their quarterback.
Somehow.
I don't think Watson.
I don't like him at all.
No.
They pound the pill and they stop.
Well, that's the
run.
biggest concern. You got Chubb who's out. You're going to have to rely on Jerome Ford for the beginning of the season. And how long does it take Chubb to get adequate when he comes
might
back?
not see Chubb much this year.
Probably not. I don't. And he might not be.
Like you said,
I don't think he's going to be.
He's never going to be the same.
I don't think he'll be the same.
He's never going to be the same. And speaking of, there's another Chubb that I don't think is ever going to be the same as Bradley Chubb in Miami. That game that he got injured, Chris and his mom were there. I mean, I heard it on TV. He's grown man screaming at the top of his lungs. That's how bad that hurt. And they were there. They said it was tough for them to watch it. It was that bad. So let's move on. AFC West, Chiefs.
Chiefs.
It's the Chiefs.
It's the
Are we in
Chiefs.
agreement
I
here?
hate to say it, but yes,
It's the
but
Chiefs.
San Diego, there they are.
Hey, guess
Chargers
what?
are-
Stupid
Chargers are going to give 'em a run.
I did it in a different order and it came out FJB.
Oh, that's fucking great.
You can't make that
you
up.
Can't make that one up. That's pretty good.
All right, let's go over to the NFC. I gotta figure where is that. I didn't bookmark
Bookmark
that
the
one.
divisions.
Yeah,
Oh, we can start off. Just start off in the West.
let's do that. Then.
NFC West.
Go the other way.
Yeah, we'll go the other way. Yeah.
We already talked about it.
Yeah.
San Fran, I think it's theirs to lose.
Nah,
I
yep.
think you're going to get a challenge from both Seattle and the Rams. And spoiler alert, every time you got to play Arizona, because it's going to be a shootout, the open
Mhm.
score out. And they outscore you, and guess what? They win. So
No, I think the Niners. It's theirs to lose. I just, I think like you said, I believe everybody else in the division is up and coming, and they are getting stronger. But I think it's the Niners to lose.
yes.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna stop looking for it because it's obviously gone.
Knock that team.
It should have been right here, but it went to Buffalo.
No worries. All right.
I obviously was.
Anyways,
You taking the Niners in the West?
we are.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Niners pull it out, and I think they've got to make something happen. They're getting desperate. They're running out of time.
Yep.
All right, so we're all in agreement.
Mhm.
All right, I like writing that right there. Okay, and all right, so which one are we going to next, Jay?
So what? You want an NFC South?
Let's go.
All right, NFC South. Are we taking that? The weakest division.
Weakest division in all the NFL. And I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay wins it in an ugly fashion and everything else. I'm not sure if boy Cousins can last in Atlanta.
Mhm.
It'll be between those two teams with New Orleans and Carolina mopping up
Mopping
with
up,
the
yeah.
Patriots.
I'm gonna go Atlanta. I'm gonna go Atlanta for winning this division. I think just a huge upgrade with head coaching, getting Arthur Smith out there, and I don't know what offense that was, but that was terrible with all the talent he got down there.
Arthur Smith was such a disappointment in Atlanta, and a lot of people thought that he was the guy that was the guy in the locker room that the players were going to love. They were going to follow the video, everything, and they just flopped.
Yeah.
And I think he completely lost the locker room.
Yeah, I think he completely did.
But I got to go. I got to go with Bloody on this one. I just don't see Atlanta. I don't see Kirk Cousins making it through the entire season 100% healthy, which he's going to have to be 100% healthy in order for that.
I think even if he doesn't stay, I think Penix is an upgrade from what they've had. So
it could be an upgrade
yeah.
from what they have, but he's still a rookie. So
He's
he's
still a
those
rookie. He's
rookie
gonna make the
mistakes,
rookie
and Baker
mistakes.
Mayfield, if he stays healthy, obviously. Yeah, I don't
like I
think he's going
said,
to make
Baker's
those
due for a
mistakes.
bad year.
Yeah, I know.
Baker's
I
due
know. If he's Vinny Testaverde, we'll find out. So
They win the division.
I'm gonna go Tampa. I'm gonna go Tampa though. All right, so we'll move on to the NFC North.
Yes.
This one is going to be the interesting one
This
because
is very
there's some good
interesting.
teams up there. But I'm going to go with Detroit
I don't know what Detroit.
I think the
Yeah.
Lions
Hungry.
Yes.
They just
to get that close.
To get to the Super Bowl, and them and the Browns go to the Super Bowl.
You're looking for a
You
raise?
think the Lions and the
You're looking for a raise?
Wow, he's really looking for a raise, isn't he?
is, man.
I think Green Bay will give them a little challenge up there. Chicago and Minnesota.
I see Minnesota giving them more of a challenge than the Bears, obviously.
Yes.
I
Chicago,
do
Minnesota, bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
I think Green Bay and Detroit are
in the
going to be
NFC
the top
North.
two that'll be in the Norris.
I think it'll be a good division to watch, though. Keep your eyes on those. I think
It
those
should
teams
be
are.
because I think you've got there. I think there's a good possibility you got a team like Minnesota that might surprise a lot of people. It sucks about their quarterback, JJ McCarthy. I was looking forward to him coming out and playing this year, but so we'll look forward to him next year. I know that's what sucks.
Yeah.
They got Sam
Yeah,
Darnold,
yeah,
so
Sam Darnold,
he's worth at least 10 losses just by himself. So I got to go Detroit. So we're all in a
We're all in
consensus on
agreement for
Detroit.
Yep.
And then we get to the NFC East. This is another one that I think, you know what? There's going to be a lot of Cowboys fans that are like, but it's not happening. This is Philadelphia's division still, no matter what happened last year. Last year was a fluke.
My biggest concern with Philadelphia is the locker room. Has the coach lost the locker room?
Sirianni?
That's my biggest.
You know what? You know when you can see that on Peacock tomorrow. Fucking asshole. We'll see that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the biggest question.
If they come back and they have a good game tomorrow night.
Condone for this trip going down there, other than the fans might get shot if you wore your colors. And
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It's a little crazy going down, but it might bring that locker room back cohesive. He might patch it up and have everything rolling down in Brazil because they're so far away. I hear the players and nobody's coaches. They're not going out to any parties
Yeah.
or any. They're not looping it up out down there. They're a little scared as well as everybody else. I think it's Philadelphia's division. Dallas will somehow be around there. But watch
Dallas
out
will
for
be
the
around.
Redskins and the Giants. I think the South too.
Yeah.
Giants.
Giants are out. I think the Redskins, the Commanders, they're
Yeah, the Commanders are up and coming, but this, with the rookie quarterback, who I think is going to be a stud.
and the thing for me, the Cowboys again are just going to be good enough to tease their fans and then let them down at the very
them
end
some
of
hope.
the season.
Typical.
Yeah, it's a typical Cowboys team.
Cowgirl.
So I think we're in agreement here.
Cowgirls.
I think it's Philadelphia's.
It's
They
Philadelphia.
got
Uh,
a demented old man with dementia running the team. He should be down there coaching.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones.
All right. So
Let it go. Let it
Let it go,
Jerry.
buddy.
that said,
You
conference
know shit.
championships. So do AFC or NFC first?
Whichever one. Let's go with the AFC. You like the Browns, apparently.
Whoa. I'm just going to see if I can get the Patriots back in there somewhere.
No, he's trying.
Flashbacks of 20 years ago. Geez, you want to roll that already? Well, I was really hoping last year was going to be the Browns playing Kansas City.
That's it,
I
yeah.
thought that D could shut them down, and the Browns could do enough to sweep that ugly game of
Mhm.
17-19 out or something. Now hope somewhere along the line that somebody knocks this KC team off. They're striving, they're rolling for it. Injuries will play a
If
lot.
anything
We
knocks
talked
Kansas
about
City
that.
off, it'll be their defense because their defense is not going to be the same
It's
as it
not
was
gonna
last
be the
year.
same.
He's playing very well tonight. Baltimore.
But that was the thing last year. Wasn't Kansas City's defense either the youngest or the second youngest defense in the league last
Yeah,
year?
I
And win the
forget.
Super
Yeah, I
Bowl?
can't remember. Yeah.
Like the last 5 or 6
Oh,
months
God,
going
yeah.
to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Defense.
And they
It-
turned it on just at the same time that the playmakers on offense finally turned it on after being asleep for most of the year.
And you also got to remember, that Rashee Rice and all his legal issues. Does that get finalized during the season? Does that come down? Because they're going to wait until they finalize all that stuff for the NFL to make a decision. Does that happen during the season? That's the biggest thing. If you take him out of that, that's a huge loss for them in the receiving corps.
True.
Yes.
True. Well, it's Kansas City's to lose.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Kansas City's they're going to win the AFC Championship. They are going back to the Super Bowl.
You're thinking who over there?
I think I got to go with KC. I mean, I'm not betting against the Swifties, man.
Brown.
You got to
Wow.
unless Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce split up, you're
Oh,
going to see
God.
you're going to see KC in the Super Bowl. There's just
All
way
right.
too much money to make there.
All right, so we got 2 Chiefs and we got 1
Butt kisser.
really looking for a raise.
Hey, Snap, did you cut Flooding's hours? What's going on here?
You tell me to talk good about the Browns tonight. Here. All right, let's move along to the NFC so we can get our Super Bowl matchups. So they're going to be you and I would have, I think, maybe the same Super Bowl match. No, we won't. I know you're going to go with your Niners.
And it's going to be the Niners versus Detroit, but Detroit wins.
Ooh, there you go. Like in Detroit.
There you go.
All right, so Floodie's got the Lions. All right.
Yeah,
You want to go last on this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, because no, I'll let you go last because it's not going to be shocking. I am going to go with the 49ers this year. They are getting desperate. This is probably their 1 year they're going to make a run at this.
Only if they
Your
move.
orange shirt over there. Come on, you're killing me. Why are you over there?
Oh.
Folks, that is the color of our state flower. You know what our state flower is? The orange cone. There he is.
The orange
The orange cone.
What, driving in this Las
Yeah,
Vegas
Las
Grand Prix?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I said, Vegas drivers, they have 2 speeds: stop and go. And they also have one style of driving is right on your bumper.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So here's what I'm going to say. The NFC Championship game, it is going to be a repeat of last year's NFC Championship game. However, this time it's going to be
Detroit.
in the dome.
It's going to be in the dome, you think, huh?
And it's going to be in Detroit, and it's going to be loud.
Mm-hmm.
And Detroit, they're not going to F up this time. The Lions, and I'm saying it's going to be close. It's going to be a good game, but the Lions are finally going to go to a Super Bowl.
All right.
I was really hoping
That I'd pick the
you
Dolphins.
were going to be over there. Cleveland, and I went against him, went against you. He's in with me.
He's in there with you in Detroit,
Sorry.
man.
All right.
That should tell you you're doomed,
Gonna kill
Detroit.
one of us. Orange Cone's going to get us moved. Watch it. Watch it be San Fran against Cleveland.
Wow.
Wow. that
Wow.
fucking-
And then
Yeah.
we're all out of it.
Yeah, that did.
No. I got
Yeah,
Cleveland.
yeah,
you got Cleveland. But you'd have to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lose both.
Yeah.
Orange Cone.
Oh.
All right. Flood's Super Bowl is the Browns and the Lions. Who's the champion?
Two teams that have never made it win Super Bowl this year.
Oh, where is the Super? It's
Good question. I don't know.
Atlanta? Is it Atlanta? I think it's in Atlanta. I think it's Atlanta.
I think Roman said
Is
the
it in
United
Atlanta?
States. Boy,
It's in the United States.
He said it's in the U.S.
Thank you.
It's going to be on Peacock.
You think I-
Yes.
Actually, it's a Boston Bruins.
They'll probably put it over on Disney Channel.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
If you're right with Atlanta and everything else, Johnny Donkey, Detroit finally
Detroit.
gets a championship that I don't think Detroit, other than the WNBA, I don't think they've had a championship
No.
in Detroit in a good
Good long time.
Yeah,
it's been
how long has it been since the Tigers have won a
Tigers,
the Tigers.
80s
uh,
with
Detroit Red Wings.
yeah.
You're talking Detroit Pistons.
Were the Pistons the last team to win a championship with Detroit?
And,
I can't remember. That's a good question.
I
Or was it the Tigers?
think it was the Tigers.
I think it was the Tigers.
I think it was the Tigers. Was
Yeah,
the last
with
team
with
to win.
Verlander and all those guys.
Yeah.
It's either the Tigers or the Dolphins. I remember.
Dead
But
things.
Detroit, you got to sit there and say, how hungry is that city
Oh,
for a
that's it.
champion?
That city's very hungry.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
You have a Super Bowl rematch.
I have a Super Bowl rematch, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, I think it ends the same way. I told you I'm not betting against the Swifties, and it'll be Kansas City.
Wow. So going back to the top 15 topics, San Francisco's not going to get over the
I don't
hump.
think they get on because listen, there's way too much money there.
All right.
Remember that there's not a single holding call on Kansas City and 3 Super Bowl victories.
I'm going to say we might have to reverse and revert my license in a month.
We might have to.
We might have to.
might.
We
We
might have to.
We might.
Early.
This is the early season prediction here.
But in closing out tonight's show, before we sign off, Floody and I are both picking the Detroit Lions
Sorry, Detroit, you guys
to
are
win
getting-
the Super Bowl.
Really? Can I change my
Never mind
You
the
gonna take
brownies. The
Miami?
brownies. Give me the brownies.
I need a raise.
I think it's. I like Dan Campbell. I like what he's done in Detroit. I like his style of coaching. He gets the
Excellent
most
coach, yeah.
out of his
Yeah.
players on every play,
Absolutely.
and he is just as fired up as his players are, which is why they play as well as they do.
And look at their schedule. They play. You got 17 games that you play. They got 3 outside. They got
Yeah.
14
Oh, that's right.
games
That's right. In a dome.
this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, no weather problems.
Detroit.
Yeah.
The others are all the road.
All right.
All right. Well, that's our time for this week, folks. We will see you next week right back here Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here at Mad Maddie's Casino. I'm Brad Michaels. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Yeah. right there is touch. Do we maintain? Nah, not too much. Situation getting too hard to clutch. Yep, it feels like I fall and I can't get up. I gotta hold my head, man, I can't get